Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the career mode. Today we are in Brazil and we are going to try to get as many points as we can. Obviously we're in competition with the AlphaTauris towards the end of this season. Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly are definitely the two we need to be beating. Obviously myself and Giovinazzi. You can just quickly see we're just doing the practice campaigns. We've got to do some R&D developments for next season, and then we'll change the engine around. We're going to get that practice done as I have done every episode so far, and we've jumped into qualifying. Right, just as normal, I will be showing you the ends of the best laps in qualifying. I think that is still the best formula for my career modes, because qualifying's boring. Like, I've done 5 laps there, you don't need to see all of them. But we're currently almost a tenth up on our best time. This is lap 5, going into the end of Q1. Can we get into Q2? I think we can. I think it said P16. We'll have a look. Bottas gets provisional pole. The Ferraris do really well this session. McLaren's not so great. Red Bull's alright, but a little bit underachieving. We get 16th. We do. We push Giovinazzi out of the next qualifying session, but we managed to squeeze into it. Right, this is looking like a good run for me. We're only going to go out the once, I believe. We might go out a second time, but there's only 50 seconds left on the timer. We've left it really late in Q2 to go for our final run. As we approach the last corner, we get around it. Full throttle. Make sure to enable the DRS as we come down the home straight. Where are we going to finish and qualify in the Brazilian Grand Prix? As we go over the line with a 1:06, we go 15th. So we out-qualify Kimi Raikkonen, I believe. Bottas again gets provisional pole. And we managed to out-qualify Raikkonen, but we were still exactly 3 tenths off Esteban Ocon. So we're still quite far off the pace in this car. We do need to make a few more R&D upgrades. Right. So it's telling me that there's rain at the end of the race, which isn't amazing. It's going to be cloudy, sunny, then rain. So we'll be interesting to see if the rain actually does hit us. Obviously, a lot of the time on this game, the rain's just really unpredictable, and you never know what's going to happen. I guess we'll have to just come to that when we get to it and see what happens in the race. Talking about the race, let's jump into it.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Tsunoda, Gasly, the owner driver and Max Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Sainz, Perez, Esteban Ocon and Russell, Mazepin, Fernando Alonso. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mick Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen. Giovinazzi, they've taken a grid penalty. Lundgaard, Leclerc and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Bit of a weird starting grid. We qualified 15th, but we're starting 9th. So there's at least 6 cars ahead of us that have taken grid penalties. We're going to go soft, medium, softs. Obviously, if we can, we're going to go soft, medium to wet to inters. But we'll have to see. We've gone softs at the start to stay up with the front runners. Obviously, we're starting P9. We're in for some good points in this race. But we get a good start. 5 red lights and away we go. We get overtaken by, I think that's Max Verstappen, who's moved up to 5th position. Perez on the left-hand side of us, and the AlphaTauris almost crash into each other. So we avoid them. And Verstappen is up ahead of us in P6 after getting probably the best start of his career. Let's have another look at the replay of the race start. Like I say, the AlphaTauris almost hit each other, so we just go around the outside. They move out of the way and again almost make contact. It's a good race start, especially for the McLarens and the Mercedes drivers. That's Verstappen moves up to P. Oh, yeah, he does move up to P6. Gets up the inside of Lando Norris as Lance Stroll makes contact with us. Hopefully, we don't get any damage to our underbody. I think Norris is going to try and go back up the inside of Verstappen here. Can he get the move done? Looks like he can get the move done. Turn into that turn. And we're going to try and stay with the Red Bull driver as long as we can. It's going to be difficult, but we'll try and stay with him as long as we can. Around the final bend, how can we finish off this first opening lap of 36 laps at Brazil? We've got good pace on Verstappen here. Deploying our ERS, we're going to go around the outside of the Dutch driver. Can we manage to hold on to the position as we go, like I say, round the outside? We've now got the inside for this corner, and we're going to get a better run down into the first straight. That's a great overtake on Verstappen. As you just saw briefly, a car has gone into the pits. I'm not 100% sure who that was. We positioned our car beautifully to overtake Verstappen into turn 1. Well, turn 1, 2 and 3. We're now on lap 7 and we've got Yuki Tsunoda chasing us. Verstappen must have pitted early because he's not behind us, but we do have well, I'd say it's not our rivals on paper, but it's our rivals in the championship right behind us of Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. I'm not sure where Giovinazzi is, but let's hope he can try to get towards the points towards the end of this race. Again, lap 8, we've got Tsunoda right behind us in the DRS. He's flying up in that AlphaTauri. We're going to go defensive and stick to the inside and try to keep the position, which again we do so. And again, we try to keep the position. Lap 9 now. Again, Tsunoda's trying to go around the outside. There's slight contact with us and Tsunoda. Tsunoda then hits into Gasly, and both the AlphaTauris are into the pits. Let's have a little replay of this. Tsunoda tries to go around the outside. We hit the curb, which evidently does hit Tsunoda, takes his wing off, and then Gasly just drives into Tsunoda. They're both going to have to pit for front wings. How far back that's going to make the AlphaTauri, I don't know. But that is hopefully, well, I say hopefully, it was our mistake, but it is going to hinder their performance in the championship. I'm not sure who got in first. I think Gasly gets in first, so Tsunoda's going to have to wait for a pit stop with a front wing change before he can even get his pit stop and front wing change. We've almost done half the lap before Gasly's out of the pits, and Tsunoda's not even had his pit stop yet. Right, we're up onto lap 12. We're into a podium position. We're into P3. We're fighting with Checo Perez and Valtteri Bottas. I'm not sure. I think Bottas must have pitted onto those mediums. So Bottas is a pit stop ahead of us. As you can see, Hamilton is in now, lap 13. We've managed to get out of DRS to Perez. But as you can see, Ricciardo and Hamilton are both into the pits. I don't think we'll come out ahead of either of them. But we're going to follow Bottas through in the slipstream. We're going to re-overtake the Finn.
The car ahead is a second
As
a
you
lap
can see,
faster
Hamilton
than
will
you.
get out ahead of us. And has gone onto hard tyres. Our softs are very much worn now. As you can see, they're 50% worn up the top left. Hamilton's come out 5 seconds ahead of us. So depending on how close Bottas and Hamilton were before the pit stops, that's how much time Bottas has lost. Obviously, he was stuck behind me and Perez. I think we do need to start thinking about our
We'll
pit stop.
receive you at the end
As
of
I
this
say
lap.
that, exactly on the nose. We go into the pit at lap 15, so I think we've got to try and do 20 laps on mediums. But as I did say at the start of the race, it does go to wets.
Antonio is in the pit. Antonio in the pits.
Annoyingly, Giovinazzi follows
Exit,
us
exit
into
now.
the pit, but we should be long gone before he even gets there. But yeah, the mediums
Okay, you
will
only
have
to
to
stop
last
once now.
till it gets
One stop
wet
left.
or to the end of the race. So I said lap 16 is where we pitted. Let's see what we can do on this stint. I've sped this up a little bit just to get through a bit of the race. Simply because we wasn't actually near anyone during the race. We're 3.5 seconds away from Sainz and with 5 seconds in front of Schumacher. So I thought I'd get this stint out of the way, speed it up a little bit, and see if we can move on to the intermediates for the end of the race.
We're leading our teammate by 18.3 seconds. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Green flag. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Day of racing. Who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, my driver of the day has to be Charles Leclerc. He was unstoppable out on the track today, weaving through the competition with ease.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.